white Jordans. And this is the Francolo Kunyumi, the man himself.
Man with a beard.
In the man in the corner, the guy who is putting on a red shirt and some red trouser. Actually, it's not red trouser. Yeah, it's a black trouser. This is also one of the baddest South Sudanese DJs who liveth in a place called Canada. And straight pan that, you're welcome, my man.
Oh, thanks, man.
And just right here next to me, CEO, Chill Talk, Georgino Mongito, the man himself.
He's George.
And Chill Talk for now, I think, is one of the biggest podcasts that is housing conversations with great artists in South Sudan. But he has not stopped there. He's a guy who likes exploring borders. So like if you go to the podcast, you'll also have people who are within Uganda, Kenya, and also across different places, really. And well done with your work.
Thank you.
And the guy right there, also we have somebody in the middle, the only guy around here who's putting on a watch, an original watch though. If you're also putting on a watch apart from him, I have no problem with the quality of your watch though.
Just look at this one.
We decided not to have. We decided to have no watch because
no, let him look at
he
this.
cannot be wearing watch. Which watch we're not having on?
What are you trying to say?
He's showing his ring.
No,
Galaxy ring.
it's Galaxy Ring. Yeah.
On a good day.
I feel you.
There's another watch over there, though.
Hey, this guy is just...
Yeah, there's a watch over there.
The watch is
So, Jexana, you're welcome.
You guys like YouTube
Yeah,
so
and
much.
Ace here represents producers actually in the conversation of today. He's a well-known producer who has made songs for Mario Ball, for Semeika, for the man himself here, Franco. He has made songs for he's not a musician, unfortunately.
You should not leave people like Epas. He's a very picky.
Oh yeah. Yes,
Epas,
yes.
Zaki, your guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Zaki.
Slam boy.
Yeah.
Big up on himself.
How is music like? How is South Sudanese music reception in Canada?
Well, the big boys back in the days was people like CJ Oman. They used, this guy, what is his name?
Dynamic?
Yeah, Dynamic. Dynamic used to come in town.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of times he came and people showed up in big numbers.
Yes.
But nowadays there's too many artists.
But when you mean people, you mean like the South Sudanese community?
Yeah. South Sudanese and their friends.
And the friends, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But our brothers from the West, they have dominated the music to another level. But still our boys are hanging in there, Yeah, Sudanese actually like most. I have some Ugandan DJ friends. These guys and some guys from Zimbabwe, they will always come to us for some Sudanese songs, and they like the beat because it's kind of reggae, dancehall.
Yeah.
So they like Zimbabwe, Kenya. Those guys like a lot of the Sudanese music. Yeah.
But do you think people attend these events because they love the music, because they love the artist, or because they want to identify as South Sudanese?
Because they want to identify as South Sudanese.
So it's not about actually the quality of the music.
The quality of the music is also another factor, Yeah, they like the quality of the music because it represents them and it also showcases them out there. If you play a South Sudanese song in the club, like we play in the clubs, if you're a resident DJ, you have to play at least some South Sudanese songs.
So Franco, if you go right now, you're performing in Canada, because I believe very well even you have a very huge listenership in Canada. All right? So if you're going to play in Canada and for some reason you see an audience that is strictly Kakwa, that has come for your music, but there are many, how does that make you feel?
Now for me, I don't feel bad because you see, it's a decision of a person to come and attend a show or to attend any event that is there. There are even people who are my own people in my own tribe. They may not even turn up to my events. They may not. So if I happen to see only Kakwa turning up for my event, first of all, I will appreciate the fact that they turned out for my event. I will appreciate that because not everyone will feel like, hey, I belong here and I want to be here. Some people don't want to be identified by some individuals. So but if they come out and say, hey, we want to be part of this and we are happy to be here, I will be so happy. As you know, when I went to Khartoum, a lot of Kakwa came out, and that pulled out also, by the way, the other tribes around. Because you see, when people embark you, they feel like, hey, we are coming for so and so.
Yes.
Even others will be like, but who is this person? You know, it starts creating that feeling of I want to go and also see what is this person going to do. So you end up performing to different kind of people. Yeah, you get.
So these guys, literally, they were supposed to be chased away, but for some reason they are coming here.
Now they are good. They are beautifying. You know, they were adding beats.
So if you're listening and there's some like weird sounds, what are these things called in English? Genia fall. Genie fall.
I was going to say guinea pig.
The good thing is, it can end on our plate.
That's dinner there.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like when I was my experience of being in Khartoum, the people who turned up for my event, I thought they were all going to be Kakwa. But when I was there, I realized different communities were there. Denka, my community was there, but more of was Bari, Pojulu, and Kuku, Denka, and Sioluk. Like the Equatorian community and the Denka community, the Nuers were there also. Like it was different. I thought it was only Kakwa until I realized people coming to me, greet me and say, hey Franco, I'm so and so, I used to watch you on your YouTube and I see you on Facebook, I am from this tribe. Like I was like, damn it, I got a lot of people coming to greet me and they were like, hey, I'm from this tribe, I was like, okay. So I thought only people in my tribe are the one who used to like my music, but I didn't know that also other people like. So what if I go there and I find that in that place, it's only my community that turned out, I cannot be surprised. But at the end of the day, I know that if I am received with the love, people will go. We have gone for shows that you just hear, oh, that show is going to be big. People are coming there. What you just go for the sake of the show is going to be big, and because you want to see how big it is. That's how people normally fill up shows.
Like in Franco.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this will go for anyone who's here. What do you guys think influences a crowd to attend? 1, the type of music the guy makes. 2, the connection the people have with the person who is singing. 3, promoters, media, the story. 4, chaos. I don't know, what do you really think influences the crowds in our South Sudanese type of music? It'd be internationally, it'd be locally. I think production, you can also talk about the type of music. Is it a production? Is it the type of music people go because, oh man, this song is a banger? In Uganda, you find there's been a lot of chaos before concerts. It's like people want to identify with the chaos. They want to identify with the problem. And it's like, okay, there's something like that. So what do you think identifies our crowds? What pulls our crowd? Maybe just an open call.
Me, I feel like music industry, it's a body which is already there. Now, relevancy. How relevant are you to that body that is already there? Because for it's already there, having people. It's like a middleman. It's having its people, but now you have to be relevant to it. You get, what are you producing? What are you giving at that particular moment? If you're relevant to the music industry, I'm sure you can pull a crowd. You get, because there are many people who are doing music, but
the question also be, what does relevance in the music thing mean? Like, you mean like what does?
I feel like feeding us.
Let me ask, is Juliana Kanyomozi relevant
to the music industry? She's very relevant.
Well, she has not made like a song in Kanmini Miten.
So you might think that the value that Juliana brings is this value of nostalgia, right?
Yes.
What is nostalgia?
So this idea of reliving a past, right?
Yeah.
This idea of reliving a past is like all of us sort of grow on Mama Bire, right? And so like if Juliana is to come here, I kind of want to relive my childhood, right? And I come to a concert where singing these songs like really out loudly, and it's sort of a way to sort of relive like those old golden days growing up. And I feel like that is a value that a lot of like old artists bring. And I think it also applies to a lot of like our South Sudanese artists. Like if I'm attending a Lasso Imap concert, it's purely because I grew on it, right? It defined my childhood, it defined my youth, right? But it also defined key issues around that time, whether that is in the political climate or in the social climate, right? If you look at the politics back then, Lasso Imap was very instrumental in a way in shaping how we understood referendum and our secession from Sudan. And so for me, I felt like that person reminds me of even the country that we now enjoy. And that's really important. But just back, I want to also answer your other question about like what drives a crowd.
Yes.
So for me, I think speaking from my own personal perspective, like if I'm attending a concert right now, I must connect with something.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think like there's a handful of artists that if they come to a concert, I really want to go enjoy their concert. One, I don't know if you guys remember Kuzo's Clan. Also, Kuzo's Clan really plays to this angle of nostalgia. When they met Sukarabo, right? Emile Kaman Bega Gali, Sukar Kaman Bega Gali, Nasawin Bega Gali. It's like that song is more relevant right now than it was back then. And I feel like if they want to come to a concert, well, I want to go and sing Sukarabo because even the tickets, it triggers a moment, right? And so I feel like artists like Franco himself, I think Franco, his value is immeasurable when it comes to the industry in South Sudan, because Franco sort of fills a gap that I think no one has ever thought of. Like we have the opportunity of growing up with education, right? Western education. When we go to school, we learn about legs in Canada. We learn about land terrains in West Africa and stuff like that. The problem is that we have never learned about our land, our soil, our culture in South Sudan, right? And so what Franco is doing is basically education through music. A lot of people like us who grew up with the Western education are sort of filling in the gaps that we missed, learning from our parents or from school through his music. And I've talked about this on the podcast we did early this year with promoter George, about like how I learned how marriages in the Kakwa community happens. How he sang about it. It almost like paints a perfect picture of what it is. So I feel like South Sudanese, if Franco goes to a concert, everyone goes there because they feel at home. I don't know if that makes sense, right? They feel at home that like, these are stories that, talk about them, right? Tells a story about who they are, how things happen in their culture. And that's why if you go to his concert, people are singing on top of their lungs. All right? They're not singing for him, they're singing for themselves.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Franco.
So can I pick from that point of relevance? Is I was saying music industry, it's having its people. There are people who are passing through different types and ways of life. People having their sorrow, happiness. There are people who wants a vibe. So what I mean by being relevant is there that community that can sit like 100 people and they are talking about a song you did. Now that is the service I'm talking about, being relevant to those people. Those people can come because trust me, I cannot attend. Not for bad, I cannot attend any show of Alien Skin. But this is a guy I cannot because he's relevant to the type of music.
His audience.
The audience. I'm not his audience. Exactly. So he's not relevant on my side. But because music industry is very big, you find Alien Skin is relevant to some group of people, and those people will come in numbers when he makes a show. So,
I think I just have to add into the nice words you guys are using, relevant and nostalgia. Most of the time, and it comes also to I was talking about nostalgia and the relevance. And the promoters also do another work, like he said, the radios. But coming to people like Franco, of course, he connects culture and contemporary music. Like he can play a traditional song in a contemporary way, and people will feel it. And most of those songs, like we had when we were young, maybe people playing local drums in the house, but he kind of modernized them to suit the situation right now. So yeah, so that's what brings the people. And somebody mentioned about Emmanuel. Actually, I wanted to get this guy's number. He is my student. Yeah. He is my student. You ask him, he will tell you that. We started in the church with Emmanuel.
You taught him how to play the instruments?
Yeah, I started teaching him how to play the accordion. The adungu, we started with the adungu.
How to play the what?
The accordion.
What is an accordion?
This keyboard that has...
Like, this one which is like a
yes.
Oh,
I used to play that back in the 91, 92, 93, 94.
Yeah, Jackson, I wasn't born.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
go on.
It was very you see, if Jackson wants to know what it is, go and watch a video of Chameleon.
Hey,
That's
Just, I have a picture of it here.
I
I'll
think
show
it
you. I'll
was
show
one
you.
of the favorites of Idi Amin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He used to play it a lot.
yeah, the
Yeah,
accordion.
Yeah, so Emmanuel is one of my boys. We used to be in the church choir together. And I was actually, he told a lot of people about me, and I'm looking for his number, but I haven't
I think
found
I have
it.
his number.
Hey, my people, just don't forget, I don't know how you call it, whether April or Apple, but either or of that, don't forget these amazing Franco shows that will be happening in Juba, right in a place called Kensburg. So we can't wait to see you there, and please enjoy. But for now, let's go on with the video.
Yeah, I have a question for. Can I ask the question?
Please, please.
I'm
go.
really curious. If you look at the South Sudanese community in India, we've seen a lot of South Sudanese go to India to do concerts. DJ San, he got his passport, and his first international trip with that passport was to India to do a concert. I think Single D has been to India as well. I think a bunch of artists, I think John Frog has been to India as well, and I think a couple of other people have been to Dubai, Egypt and Sudan. Now there's a South Sudanese community, I think, in Canada. We're very strong. We see the events that you guys organize. What is the bottleneck, right, around bringing South Sudanese acts to Canada to do concerts? Because I understand the community is there. I think I've seen a bunch of events that sort of connected the US and Canada, especially Luol's Unite event. I think you can really see how vibrant the community is. For me, like, why is it difficult for us to see that kind of energy and action where South Sudanese artists like Franco would come down stage concerts? What are the problems that exist on the ground, if there's any?
Yeah, I just wanted to backtrack with to the first question first, because what really attracts Franco's music is what you mentioned earlier. It's the difference between contemporary and the culture. His music is cultural but played in a contemporary way. So that is something that you said we are missing because we are educated in the Western culture, right? So if we hear something now that is relating to my culture, I wanted to teach my kids, because nowadays, all podcasts and the news is talking about maintaining your culture, and like people are talking about why we don't really want our culture, we want the Western culture. So that thing is the one that is affecting most of the people, regardless of whatever background you're coming from the music that he plays. So he didn't want to answer that, I don't know, but that's how I felt. But then coming back to your question,
the Canadian promoters not bringing us.
We have a lot of that. Most people try to do that, but the immigration system in North America is very different.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's why even medical cases, people from back home, they will rather go to India or go to South Africa. For you to bring an artist, the only guys that come a lot is the West Africans, because they have a bigger community and they have a better financial status, and they make sure that when you come there you have to go back, but you have to have at least maybe from 5,000 or something from your account. So
it is 15,
10 to 15,000 in your account for you to be able to come. I can invite you today, but if you don't have that money in your account, you won't be. And they have to prove that you have some security stuff back home. You have, all those things, you need to have them. And you need to have a solid account that they can prove that you're not going there just to maybe end up there. So those are the things that are making it very hard. If I have to invite Franco, I have to make sure that he has account number that is at least 10 to 15,000, and immigration has to know where he's going to stay, how I'm going to keep him. Chameleon came a lot of times because he started from the Wagopas in Kenya and stuff like that, so he was well established. And people like most guys from West Africa, they have a good financial status, and they have houses, they have all those kind of things. And our people, we don't have a lot of that. That's why it's very hard for us to bring people like Franco and you as well and all that. Yes.
Jackson, for your information, has that in his account. Just in case you want to think about that, please.
Guys, don't
bring Jackson to Canada.
But I would like to know. I would like to know so.
Yeah.
As we know, even in Uganda, people always take artists there, but you find the crowd is all Ugandans. Is there a possibility that in India there's actually a more bigger number of South Sudanese that attend shows, that it enables promoters there to actually put up shows? Because it's at the end of that day, putting up a show, you need money, right?
Yes.
I feel maybe the numbers there are a bit healthy, that promoters can take artists.
I think in India it's a different case.
But my question is, how do you know it's a lot of Ugandans? Because most of the Chameleons visit is not actually hosted by Ugandans.
Yeah,
like most of the crowd is South Sudanese.
What I was trying to say is when Chameleon is having a show, if you look in the crowd, the biggest number is Ugandans. That's what I'm saying. As we said that the first question, like when you staged a show in Australia, there is that community you expect to see. Maybe Kakwas, you get, but you see the number is mixed up, Kakwas, Dinkas. So what I'm saying, like Ugandans abroad, if you set a show of an artist like Alien Skin, you will see a big number of them, right, coming for the show. So my question is the number small in Canada? Is it about the number? Yeah. Is it about the number?
I think he made it straight. The immigration policies.
Yeah, I think the immigration.
No, he's asking about the crowd.
The crowd.
The crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd. Which, okay.
Yeah, in India, he said there's a larger
I'm
crowd.
asking, is India having much bigger crowd of South Sudanese that actually attend shows?
Not actually, no.
They are all students.
Yeah.
In fact, the South Sudanese who are in India, all of them are students. Yeah.
I think the number is certified.
I think it's just easier
It's
to
not
get
that
it's
someone.
easier to
It's
get
easier to
visas.
get to
That's why the
India
problem, I think, is
than to get to
twofold.
Canada.
The problem is twofold. The problem is, I think, one, about like the issues of having an account and having a guarantee that you have finances. I mean, if you applied for visas before, you kind of you have to give your bank statements and stuff like that. But I feel like this is also like a task. Like some of these conversations that awareness. I feel like our Ministry of Culture can do a lot, right? In talking and bridging these differences. I've seen people advocate for issues with visas like that. I mean, we do conferences a lot. And sometimes just because of the country you come from, you get denied a visa.
That's
and I think people go on Twitter, go on internet, say, this embassy, what you're doing is wrong, right? Because people are just doing this. So I feel like once that awareness is out there, I'm sure a lot of action would happen in terms of advocacy, so that we're able to bridge that. But that's really nice to think about.
Yeah,
you're right.
So just picking up on a point which actually you mentioned earlier, which is a very, very important aspect, the nostalgia aspect. So to actually be a nostalgic artist,
you guys just refuse to explain me that word.
So
some of us, we did not.
Do you know this song? Obanga ina, Obange yo. How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel.
What images do you see in your
like when you hear
Obanga
ina, Obange yo, where do you go?
I go back in the day.
Now that is nostalgia.
Okay. For us, we did not go to kindergartens of shouting colors. For us, we started under the tree. These new syllabuses that have those words, we don't know them.
Now,
I remember.
Yeah.
Can we talk about like the South Sudanese media?
Oh yeah. Just before that, I wanted to speak about this, and I feel like maybe it may or may not be important. They are to qualify. Like not every artist who was during the times of Chameleon can give you the nostalgic effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
There are some artists that reach to a level that when you listen to them, you can easily relate with something. In South Sudan, you do have them, but there are some artists who have also been in the situation. What takes you to be an artist that, Franco, that even though you leave the scene, you have a feeling we can still go to your show 60 years from now and connect to our days in 2025.
Yeah,
What do you think takes someone there?
I think it's impact, right?
Maybe you have explained a little bit about impact.
He was talking earlier about CJ Oman. I think CJ Oman is a name that is associated with a lot. If you remember the days of Sotalaga, no one is sort of captured the situation that people were back in then more than CJ Oman did in that song, right? And the impact that he put on the industry in people's minds and heads is what cemented his legacy, right? As one of the artists that even today when you hear him, you can remember and feel like the kind of impact that he created. And I feel like there's a bunch of artists that sort of qualify to that sort of standard as well. I think Double J is super underrated. Like I when I see people in South Sudan, young artists coming up with social media following really huge, and they think they're bigger than these old stars, it really baffles me. Like no one compares to Double J. With the work they have done under Freedom Boys, the songs they made,
not only Freedom
after
Boys,
he,
but being just him.
at the music he
Just the way
did.
that I don't think maybe if you want to put them in the way scale, just put him and put Kembe. Put him and put Kembe, and then that's where maybe the scale will somehow be balanced. But otherwise, the guy is.
So for me, I have 5 artists.
He has his own
I have
line.
5 artists that for me, I think in South Sudan, they're cemented. Double J, or the work he's done, don't compare. Like let him be. Right?
Yes.
Lasso Emma.
Yes.
Legend,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what he does today, he cemented his legacy.
Yeah.
Kuzo's Clan. Kuzo's Clan is underrated.
Yeah.
They made Binya Juba back when people were still in Kakuma, right? The songs were sent from Kenya.
Yeah.
You get the point? They made Samira, they made Sukarabu, they made Geleng, they made... think about it like this. We love Ali Joma.
Yeah.
He makes music in Dinka that we still listen to.
Yes.
Kuzo's Clan made music in Arabic back when the radio was saturated by music from Congo and Uganda.
Yeah.
So he made music that every part of South Sudan can enjoy, not just the melodies, but even the meaning of it. So I feel like the impact, the work they've done, the effort they've put in, goes a lot of times unrecognized, right? So I feel like Kuzo's Clan, really, the work they've done cannot be touched. Emmanuel Kemba, right?
Are those 5 already?
Those are 5.
Yes.
Can I put something?
As you're putting your thing, I want you to conclude by telling me which musical artist will make you or will connect with you 10 years from now to remind you about your refugee ship.
Yeah. So I want to answer you in this way. There was a day we were watching. There's a Coke Studio. They brought in Fally Ipupa, they brought Sauti Sol. So these people were given to compose a song. So when they were composing, Fally Ipupa say he doesn't want to produce a hit song. You get it? So I feel like a song that is going to remain, let this person not think of a song that is going to remain and that is going to be a viral song. Because a viral song like these days, you produce a song, it stays like 2 months, then the song fades. But then this song comes in like this. You sit down, it has to have meaning. Like for Franco, trust me, even after 60 years, people will come for his show. Because one, it has some attachment to it. It has a story into it. It has a like meaning. It's just not about Nyas. You get it? It's
Why
about
do you guys hate Nyash?
no, Nyas is a good thing, you know. It's a Jay-Z thing, like
you
the
have
Gen
caught
Z
it on
thing.
camera. Georgia said Nyash is a what?
It's not a thing.
He's a thing. You guys
Yeah, so I felt like that kind of music is the one that will last. Like you as a musician don't think of a song that will trend today or tomorrow, but a song that will live forever. For me, that is the way how
But
I
Valu
feel.
Valu was a trend.
And
It trended. It was a hit.
Yeah.
But still, we can play Valu Valu even the next
and
how many years?
I think on his point, I think on his point, artists who made those songs even in Uganda here, songs that do that what you guys say. It's because these artists were composers. You know, I've worked with Franco in the studio when we are making Paigere. Me, I was making that song dancing. Then Then after in the camps, I'm seeing people crying. I'm like, what did I produce? Oh, you get my point. Eh? So I want to bring this as it is. So,
Oh yes.
So you find these artists are composers. They own their art. Franco recently, this new song, it's called what? Too much. We had a big rope pulling. There are some particular words they wanted there, but me as a mix engineer, I was like, But the guy wanted them there, and trust me, when I was singing the song, I also sang those parts. So these people, they know their song. Like, they are composers. They will compose with you. If you hear that song, you will find it was not the producer's idea. You find it was the artist telling. Because my dad is a musician. He plays guitar. So when most of the times when I'm making a song for him, the guy will be telling you the bass. He will tell you with the mouth. And at the end of that day, when you're playing the song to someone, nigga, that bass is good. But deep in you, I'm not the composer. So these artists composed music. Today, we're having, as he said, we're having hit songs.
Give me a beat. Let me follow on it.
Exactly. Producer, what do you have? You will find, there is a producer of mine, may he so rest in peace. It's called Skills on the Beat. Skills on the Beat, he failed to make a song with Kabuye Semboga. Simply because Kabuye Semboga is a composer. The other guy wants to be a producer. Kabuye is like, he stands there, listens. You get. These people made music from their soul. You get. They did not make because they have time to do it. No. They made music because they had that enough time to surround themselves with it.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And you find these people didn't know even how to play instruments. Like Franco, okay, he learned a guitar, some basics also. But Franco will tell you something, you play something like this. You might, as a producer, producers, we have ego, but when you play it, it will sound good. You get, you get. I have to admit, producers, we are too much. But I feel like producers should these days listen more to artists, follow artists. He's telling you something. You get. Your work is to press that record button. Do it. It's not hard. At the end of that day, we are going to get that music that can last. Compose. Don't be how do we call it? Don't be a dick.